The bills don't stop, so you have to keep going. The bills don't stop, so neither can you. The world's gone to crap, sorry old chap. The bills don't stop, so you have to work through. The bills don't stop, so you have to keep grafting. The bills don't stop, so you have to make do. The mortgage payments still have another 20 years, and the bank doesn't care what's happened to you. The bills don't stop if the service is rubbish. The bills don't stop, in fact you might be charged more. Lost your job? That's too bad. You should have planned for that before. The bills don't stop in the middle of a crisis. The bills don't stop if the service is down. And don't you dare get behind on your payments, or they'll have to send the boys around. The bills don't stop. The bills don't stop. The bills don't stop, so neither can you. The bills don't stop. The bills don't stop. The bills don't stop, so neither can you. Whatto folks, Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire here with song number 21 of my Song a Week project. 21 weeks now, which seems a bit crazy, but there we go. 5 weeks time we'll be hitting half a year, which is absolute madness because it doesn't feel like I've done that many songs for this, but there we go. So this one was about the fact that the driving force behind me carrying on with work and probably most people carrying on with work is you've got to cover the bills. They don't go away regardless of what happens. They didn't go away when the world was in meltdown during COVID. They don't go away when the services get rubbish, get worse. In fact, you get charged more for less service at the moment. And unfortunately, there's no discounts that you get with any of that stuff. And if you don't pay, then you end up getting into trouble for it. So that was the sentiment behind this song. I was having a discussion with a good friend of ours the other week, where we were talking about having to do certain things that we didn't necessarily want to do, but you've got to pay the bills. I used to work for a big credit card company back when I was younger and still trying to find my way in the world, working in a call centre, answering calls through from people who'd actually had their credit cards cancelled and were now with debt collection agencies. It was my job to pass them on to debt collection agents. I apologise for that. Not my finest moment. Was not a job I particularly enjoyed, but I actually got to see that side of things. Never again. I'm sure lots of people have experience of having to work just to be able to pay the bills. I played this on my Duke 10 banjolele. If you're interested in this instrument, getting your own one, follow the link in the description and you get a nice discount on the product and the shipping as well. Thanks again for all the comments that you've been leaving about the last video, which was my slightly cheated original song, which wasn't really an original song, about cornetos. Now, lots of people saying they haven't come across cornetos before, but there are equivalents in other countries as well. Also, cornetos aren't quite what they used to be. Looking at those old adverts, they were far bigger than they are now. Back in the day, I always thought it was just because I've got bigger, but actually no, they definitely were bigger back in the 80s. The Zotmeister says, we don't have that brand of convenience store ice cream cone in the United States. We have Nestle Drumstick and Good Humour. So lots of people talking about the drumsticks actually, which is quite interesting. I'll have to go and have a look up at that and see what that's all about. But I certainly recognise both O Sole Mio and the sentiment of I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Yeah, absolutely. It's before you've even noticed and the whole box of them's gone. But there we go. Thomas Wilkinson 3241 says, nice, I used to love cornetto in my youth. Nowadays, no one seems to sell them anymore where I live. Yeah, you seem to be able to get them in corner shops, kind of singularly. But our local Sainsbury's, they are the cheapest box of multiple ice cream cones that you can get. So we tend to get them from there. They're one step up from the Sainsbury's own Choc Ice. Zardwalk says cornettos and Jaffa cakes come in units of a packet. I agree with that completely because again you can't just eat a couple of Jaffa cakes, you have to get through the whole packet as well. Franco Walker 4662 says I can demolish a full packet of cheese triangles in an evening. Yeah. So the other ones is the Baby Bells. They're quite easy to get through in an evening as well. Zelda Storm says, absolutely loving these songs and Q&As. Thanks for sharing your gifts. Have you ever been asked onto a podcast or a radio show? Yes, I have actually. I've appeared on quite a few podcasts, which have gone out of my head now. I've been on radio shows as well. I was on a radio show again. I can't remember the name of the radio show, but an American radio station that I did an interview on and did some performances on as well. I was also interviewed by BBC Radio Leeds a couple of years ago because they'd come across a cover I'd done of I think it was Belinda Carlisle cover that I'd done, and they had a show where they kind of were putting the start of cover versions up on their programming and getting to get people to guess what it was a cover of. But then I appeared on there and played a song as well. So that was quite good fun. But yes, I have appeared on radio shows and podcasts. I will share a link to a few on the next video. Or in fact, no, I can share a link to a few on this video. So I'll put some links to some podcasts I've appeared to below this video. Dan Forbes 3573 says, just one cornetto, it's all for me. Well, enjoy it, my friend, because I've got 3. And no, you can't have one. These 3 cornettos are all for me. Very poetic. Well done. Excellent work there. Hawk the L Fowl says, I have the same problem with drumsticks, US equivalent of cornettos. The struggle is real. Yes, I've heard about these drumsticks. I'm going to have to look them up online to see what they actually look like. The Mystifying 177 asks, when did you first realise your soul's song and begin your lifelong journey of love for music? Well, years ago, I'd say. When I was a child, we used to listen to records a lot as kids with my parents. They're just behind me over here. In fact, we've just got a record player so we can listen to them again. But I was in choirs at school. I learnt to play the trombone from the age of 9 till I was about 16. And then decided I was far too punk rock for it and stopped playing. I can't really play it anymore. But yeah, I have had kind of a love of music all through my life, really, which is rather nice. And it's nice to be able to do this as a proper job these days as well. So I hope that answers your question. AJB2K3 asks, how was Bridgewater? Hope you were treated well. Had an absolutely lovely time in Bridgewater last weekend. Probably one of my favourite shows this year so far. Great audience, great atmosphere. And lovely venue, lovely people. I will definitely be going back to Bridgewater. I'm also told that Bridgewater Carnival is a sight to behold. So I might have to go down for that at some point as well. I believe it's in November. So maybe not this year, but maybe next year. I'll go and experience the wonders that are Bridgewater Carnival. So James Wright 4322 says, I think things that people tend to use more of when they have it in bulk are not limited to snacks. I would agree with that. For instance, money. Not that many of us have that problem, unfortunately. Yeah, I would agree with that as well. But who among us doesn't splurge at least a little bit when we do find ourselves with a fatter pocket? Absolutely. I was terrible for that as a student. What would happen is I would go to the cash point hoping there was money in there, just hoping beyond hope that I had a last tenner left. And every so often there'd still be like 70 quid in there, 100 quid in there. And I'd think, it's money I didn't think I had. So I would take it out and then just spend it. So I agree wholeheartedly with you there that is something that we tend to do. So also ask, if you will, please tell us about the first time you performed on stage as the main attraction. Gosh, honestly, I can't remember when that was. I think that was the year before I've No More Fucks to Give went viral. I got approached by a group, a steampunk, or kind of a chat group down in London called the New Sheridan Club, and they're all readers of the Chat magazine, and they'd obviously found me through various social media accounts, and this was before anybody knew who I was. And so actually my first performance of a lot of my original songs was at that show, and it was great fun. It was really good fun. Nobody really knew who I was or what they were coming along to. It was for their Christmas party, and there was all these kind of silly games going on there, and that was at the Tea House Theatre in South London. the first time I was the main attraction, really, I guess, was because there did various cabaret shows and things like that in the year that No More Fucks went viral. But the first real proper headline show, I guess, was at my local club, Esquires, which was fantastic because I played there with bands before as a headline act, not to as many people. And it was nice to be performing as a solo act. I had support of the local ukulele orchestra came and supported me. Their stage setup was far greater than mine was, and it was really good fun. So it was great playing to my local venue to a fairly full audience. Sergeant Bouchery says, "Can you do any magic tricks?" I can't, unfortunately. No, I do know people who are in the magic circle, but no, I've never been able to do magic tricks. I've never been that inclined or that patient to be able to learn them, unfortunately. Barona Corey asks, what is your favourite ice cream flavour now that you've got me craving snacks? I really do like chocolate ice cream. And I particularly like pistachio flavoured ice cream as well. I know a lot of people don't like it. But if there's pistachio flavoured ice cream, I'm very happy. So there we go. Make sure you keep the questions coming, folks, because it makes these videos far more interesting and gives me more to talk about. So thank you for all those questions. If you're interested in coming along to a show this month, I've still got a number of them coming up. On the 23rd of August, I will be at Asylum Steampunk Festival in Lincoln with Mr. B the Gentleman Rhymer and Alice Strange, and we'll be playing at the Drill Hall that evening. I'm first on, so it'll be about 7:30, I would imagine. Then the next day, I'll be performing on the Castle stage there as well, so up at Lincoln Castle in the afternoon, and doing a meet and greet where I'll be flogging merch and that kind of thing. Then Mr. B and myself will be whizzing down to Twinwood Festival. I do have the timings for that now. So on the Saturday, the 24th of August, I'll be performing with my band, the Fancy Chaps, in Club Marlane at 8:20. It's the same thing on the Sunday as well with the Fancy Chaps. So Saturday and Sunday at 8:20 at Club Marlane. And then in the afternoon on Sunday the 24th, I'll also be doing a solo set on the Liberty stage. I'm not sure what that's called now, but I'll find out for you before then because I think they've changed it and moved the venue. But yes, I'll be doing a solo set there. So it'd be lovely to see you coming along to any of those. Then on Thursday, the 29th of August, I'm going to be at the Lamb in Surbiton. So it'd be lovely to see you there as well. That's about it from me this week. Make sure you keep questions coming in the comments. If you're interested in getting hold of a banjolele like this one, follow the link in the description. There's also a link to all of those show dates and details of where you can get tickets for those as well in the description below. Until next time, stay safe and toodle pip.